Hi, this is Lucas from Blockchain.News, and I'm here with Dr. Ben Goertzel from SingularityNET. How are you today?
Oh, pretty good. I'm excited to be here in Singapore for Block Show.
Well, we're excited to have you. So I thought we'd get straight into a bit of AI philosophy. So what is the difference between an AI and an AGI?
Artificial General Intelligence, or AGI, refers to AI that can generalize way beyond what it's been taught and what it's seen to sort of imaginatively guess something about new domains of experience. And this is extremely important in the modern world where unexpected new stuff is thrown at us all the time.
And so to take to the next level, what's an ASI?
Artificial superintelligence is the next step beyond general intelligence. I mean, humans have more general intelligence than the current software products out there commercially right now, but humans are by no means the most generally intelligent possible system. I think as AI advances further and further, we're going to see AIs that are tremendously smarter than people, much as we're much smarter than monkeys, rats, or bugs. But I mean, to get from where we are now with narrow AI to AGI, artificial general intelligence, and then artificial superintelligence, we need to go through quite a series of practical steps, and that's really what we're engaged at with SingularityNET project, is how to get through the next steps from where we are now with fairly simplistic narrow AI toward powerful general intelligence, but how to do it in a way that avoids putting AI into control of just a few centralized powerful parties. We want to make decentralized general intelligence.
So the name SingularityNET, obviously this comes from the Singularity event, right? Is that where you got the name for SingularityNET?
Yeah, the singularity in SingularityNET, it's not the discontinuity in space-time at the center of a black hole. Rather, it's the future event foreseen by Werner Vinge, Ray Kurzweil, and others, which is basically the moment at which technology starts advancing so fast it seems effectively instantaneous to the human mind. And this is going to occur by artificial general intelligence becoming smarter than people, so that it's AI is doing the invention rather than people doing the invention.
So the AI continues to learn. It continues to grow more intelligent. So then, how do we stop it from overtaking us? So as I mentioned before the interview, like notable intellectuals like Sam Harris and Elon Musk, they've warned us about this, that eventually the AI will get super intelligent and it will leave us basically behind and just work around us, I suppose.
AI will almost certainly become far more intelligent than human beings, and there will be a possibility for humans to follow the AI along and effectively fuse their minds with the AI, which Elon Musk, among others, is also working on with his company Neuralink. I would say humans who choose not to fuse with the AI will indeed be, in a sense, left behind. They will no longer be the smartest individuals in this region of the universe. But the fact that AIs will become much, much smarter than people doesn't necessarily make these AIs a danger to people. That all depends on how the AIs are built. What we want are AIs that are compassionately disposed toward human beings, and part of that is why in SingularityNET we're so focused on creating a democratically controlled AI mind, because if the first true general intelligence is controlled by a military organization or, say, an advertising organization, then this probably isn't optimal in terms of getting a beneficial general intelligence to emerge into a compassionate supermind.
It just sounds so complex to put this compassion into a machine. Like as I was mentioning before the interview, like even the way humans display these emotions is not consistent. So how do you program that level of emotion into an AI?
You don't program emotion and compassion or self or awareness into an AI. These things are learned by the AI, and they emerge within the AI in the course of its interaction with the world, which includes the humans in the world and the physical world. In a similar way, you don't program emotions or compassion into a human child. They gain that, and it self-organizes in their mind in the course of their interactions with the world. So the task of AI is to build a learning system and a self-organizing system that can self-organize its own mind, its own feeling, its own compassion in an appropriate way. And it is complex, but the internet is complex. Your mobile phone is complex. Your laptop is complex. I mean, humanity has built many complex things, and these are built by a combination of many complex people working together.
Right. So essentially, you're saying it learns essentially like a child from the things happening around it, from the information it's being fed. Yes. So in our modern world, then we're so saturated with kind of violence and shock value things. So couldn't it assimilate these characteristics? Couldn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, couldn't it learn this way? And how do you guide it? That's what I'm saying. How do we guide it towards the compassion?
Humanity is certainly a complex mess with aspects that are both positive and negative according to the value systems of various parts of humanity, right? And however, I think the best we can do is put an AI out there in the world and expose it to the various aspects of humanity and make sure that it's biased in a positive direction. And this is what you can do with human children. I mean, I've 4 human children so far, one granddaughter, and, protecting them from all the bad things in the world, you can do only to a limited extent, because eventually they're going to go out there and interact with them anyway, right? So, I mean, what you need to do is expose them to the realities of the world, but I mean, you bias what you expose them to in a positive direction, but you let them see what's really out there. And that's the same thing that has to happen with our AI. I mean, we'll put AI out there in the world, and AI will be used for military purposes. AI will be used for advertising. AI will be used for crime. But let's make sure that AI is also used, and maybe even to a greater extent, for education, for agriculture, for scientific discovery, for psychotherapy, and then the AI will get all these things integrated into its mind. It will form a whole picture of human values and culture, but it will have a substantial inclination toward compassion and understanding. And this is not a job I'm going to do myself. It's not a job that our SingularityNET AI team, as great as they are going to do by themselves. This is a job that's going to be done by a vast community of people around the world, AI developers and other technology developers, people creating products that use AI, people using AI products and interacting with AI, talking to an AI on their phone, talking to a robot, uploading their data into a service. I mean, this teaching and training of the AI to make it more intelligent and to make it absorb human values and culture, this is something to be done by a vast global community of people. And if SingularityNET is going to play a key role in this, I mean, then we need to be massively growing the user base of SingularityNET, which is what I was talking about in my talk at Block Show today. Like, how do we drive massive adoption of this decentralized AI network that we have launched? I mean, now that after 2 years of work, we have a pretty nice version of SingularityNET platform out there. It's a decentralized AI network. There's a bunch of AIs running in it. There's democratic governance and control, so the AI network is sort of controlled by the AIs in the network rather than by some outside party. That's there. It's a nice bit of software. We've shown it works. Now, how do we get that to be a substantial fraction of the AI utilization on the planet, right? And that's the next step we're facing. If, as humanity transitions from narrow AI to AGI and then to superintelligence, if this is going to happen in a sort of democratic and participatory way, then networks like SingularityNET need to be a significant part of the mix, which is easy to see from an abstract view, but in practice on the ground, there's a lot to be done to get adoption of this sort of platform, just as there has been a lot to do to build the technology infrastructure.
We passed that one. So I wanted to go a bit more into your partnerships and such. I caught your talk yesterday with Tufi Saliba and you guys have joined forces to create Totalarity. Could you expand on this a little bit for me?
So Tufi Saliba and I have been friends for quite some time. We're both deeply into the sort of libertarian and the decentralized aspect of the blockchain world, and wanting to see a democratic, participatory focus to the way money, information, AI, data, and everything else is organized on the planet. Now, as we progressed further with SingularityNET in practice and rolled out a working version of SingularityNET beta, it became more and more clear that Ethereum doesn't fully meet the needs of SingularityNET right now. It may in future, because the Ethereum team is doing a lot, but I started wanting to explore other options in parallel, sort of to hedge against the possibility that Ethereum doesn't advance fast enough relative to the growth of SingularityNet. So I knew Tufi had this thing called the Tota network. I dug into that, and the more I looked at it, the more I liked it. It seemed a really, really interesting architecture, which had the potential to scale to the level that SingularityNet needs. So we built a simple sort of prototype of a little private SingularityNet subchain running on Tota, and works quite nicely. It's very fast, very, very simple to work with. And having done that, I became a believer that the Tota technology is cool and can scale. And I started to look at, well, how can we bring our worlds together a bit? And so we came up with the idea we call the Totalarity, and the idea here is basically to reach out to a bunch of startups and give these startups some guidance and in some cases some investment money as well to help them put their products into the SingularityNet platform and onto the Tota network. So there's two communities we're looking at. One is those who have developed AI algorithms, and they want to use SingularityNet as a marketplace for the AI algorithms, and maybe use Tota as a tool to help their AI leverage decentralized networks better. Another group we're reaching out to is people who have products that need AI, and they could get that AI from centralized vendors, or they could get that AI from AI running in the decentralized SingularityNet and Tota network. So we're looking to get more startups onto our platforms, and Totalarity is just aimed at accelerating the process of startups getting on the platform by providing some engineering assistance, some advice, and some injections of funding to these startups to get them on the platforms.
Okay, so you recently signed a memorandum of understanding with PICC Financial Services, PICC, excuse me. Could you expand on what this collaboration means?
PICC is China's largest insurance company, and we've had a number of meetings with them in Beijing. I mean, they have a host of different needs related to AI and blockchain, and they're very interested in what SingularityNet has to offer. So, I mean, we've been talking to them about a variety of different projects. I mean, some things to do with their auto insurance pipeline as one example. One of the most interesting problems we've been discussing is if you have a photograph of a broken car's engine, can you tell what's wrong with it from the photograph? Can you estimate the cost of the car repair just from the picture? And that's interesting because it's not just a computer vision problem, right? It requires some reasoning to indirectly figure out what's wrong with the car. So it requires, combination of multiple AI tools and agents, like some computer vision, some logical reasoning, multiple AI agents coming together to provide an answer regarding what might be wrong with the car based on what's seen in the picture. So that seems like a number of different interesting problems there. They have some issues involving speech analysis also of Chinese language, and we have some interesting AI tools for deep neural net speech analytics running in SingularityNET platform. So really by working with PICC, Cisco, Domino's, other large enterprises, I mean, what we're aiming to do a number of things. I mean, in the direct sense, we're getting utilization of our AI tools and of the platform, right? Because as these companies use AI in SingularityNET, that helps get traction, because we're getting some AI agents in the network used. And it's also, indirectly, it's stimulating development of more and more AI for the network, because if in the course of voice analytics or, say, image analytics regarding car engines, the AI that's put in the network to serve PICC's needs, or, say, Cisco's needs for car traffic analytics in the project we did for Cisco, the AI that's been put in the Singularity network to meet these companies' needs, this AI, much of it is there in the network to be used for other purposes also. So you're building out just the overall AI capacity in the network, much more so than if you would say just building proprietary software for PICC or Cisco. I mean, there's some aspects of what we're doing with them that are very particular to their problems, but there's some aspects that's just putting general purpose AI agents in SingularityNET network, which can then be used for a bunch of other things.
So just announced you've integrated PayPal into SingularityNET. What does this mean for your platform?
The integration of PayPal as an alternate payment interface for getting AI services on the platform, I think that opens the door to getting a much broader utilization of the AI services on the platform. Because what we found in reaching out to people creating products that need AI, what we found is, I mean, a lot of them, they're very open to looking at alternative platforms for getting AI services, but they don't have an Ethereum wallet, right? And their company sort of doesn't want to be dealing with cryptocurrency. I mean, they're afraid, like, okay, we convert some dollars to crypto, then crypto goes up or down, and then we suddenly lost money, and they just don't want to deal with the hassle, right? And I'm hoping that will change. I mean, I would love to see the decentralized cryptocurrency economy obsolete PayPal and the whole fiat economy in time, right? But I mean, at the moment, that's not the reality. At the moment, is most businesses, they want to use their credit card or their regular bank account to pay for services, and I mean, we need to support the reality of the current financial world in order to get more and more companies on the platform.
So we didn't really talk about Sophia, but you did mention how you were going to guide the AI's general emotions. But so you just in your presentation just now, you had the robot of Philip K. Dick. So you seem very inspired by science fiction in general. Is that a huge thing for you in getting into this space?
In my childhood, science fiction was where I first learned about AI, robots, life extension, and all the research topics I now work on. I mean, the first robot I saw was in the original Star Trek TV series in, I don't know, 1969 or 1970 or something. So certainly in the 60s and 70s, these futuristic ideas were not taken that seriously in the scientific world, and science fiction was where you found out about these things. The Philip K. Dick robot that we've been experimenting with recently using SingularityNET AI, this was built by my good friend David Hansen, actually 15 years ago. This was, I think it was the first humanoid robot that he built using his unique rubber face technology, way before Sophia. So
this is Hansen Robotics?
The Philip K. Dick robot was built by Hansen Robotics, as was Sophia. Now Now, we've experimented with running SingularityNet on AI on Sophia a number of times. For example, in the Loving AI experiments we did, where SingularityNet AI was used to have Sophia help be a meditation coach for people. And this Web Summit presentation I gave last week, where we're using SingularityNet AI to control the Philip K. Dick robot, while Sophia was using a different AI system. And this is really it's play and prototyping in a sense, because these are sort of at the moment they're small-scale production, really like works of art, which are amazing for experimenting with AI and human-robot interaction. During the next few years, Hanson Robotics is going to massively scale up production of their robots, and that's when things can also be interesting for SingularityNet, right? Because one of the applications we've thought about for a long time with SingularityNet is making a large-scale robot mind cloud. Like, how do you? So let's say you have 1 million or 10 million robots out there. They're all learning from their experiences, but most of their brains are in the cloud, right? So there can be shared knowledge among the different robots. What one robot sees goes into the overall mind cloud, and all the robots can benefit from it. And then blockchain has a major role to play, because you need data security and data privacy. Like, not everything the robot sees in your house do you necessarily want to be shared with all the other robots on the mind cloud, but some of it is fine. If the robot is learning, say, how to take dishes out of the dishwasher without breaking them, you don't mind that knowledge being shared with the robot in the house next door. If the robot, is hearing your wife yell at your daughter or something, maybe you don't want that used to enhance the behavior of the robot next door. So by having a secure blockchain-based robot mind cloud backing up all these robots, you get to combine AI with data security. And this is a way in which robots have an advantage over people. For you and I to communicate, we have to do awkward things like translate electricity in our brain into movement in our vocal cords and tongue, make these sound waves vibrate through the air. For two robots to communicate, they can just beam their thoughts through the internet up and down. And this is one of the advantages that once you get to a certain scale, AIs really have over people, that I think can accelerate the transition from narrow AI to general intelligence.
It's been wonderful having you, Doctor. So thank you so much for this, and we'll see you around the show.
All right, thanks a lot.